Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr.Z NFT podcast. I'm your host, Matt Gazer, co-creator of the Chronicles of Dr. Zammsy, with my co-host, Gordon Neal, 3D modeler extraordinaire and a fantastic friend. How you doing today, bud?
Yes, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We do not have Rolf today. This is because he's neck deep into trying to get this set 3 finished for April 29th. So he said no distractions, which I completely understand. So It's just you and me today. So great.
Yeah, definitely. It's good. It's because it's rare. We haven't really done this since probably the last time you were on my podcast. I was talking about like your book at the time. I think you were just launching Fantastical at the time. Like that was a whole thing. Like,
oh yeah, I remember that. That was cool. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I have a collection of 2 books, a sketchbook and an art book, fantastical series you can find at drzammsy.com or my website, mattgazer.com. And there's the limited edition. Comes with a sleeve or a clamshell. But yeah, exciting stuff as always going on. Real quick, yeah. So it comes with the book and then some prints in a nice sleeve. A lot of love went into that. Check it out.
Yep.
So anyway,
yes.
To let everyone know, we're super excited about set 3. So we just did a ton of revisions to our website at drzammsy.com. If you go to the games tab, we have a very clear graphics that basically explain what our vision is for the card game, explaining how the cards integrate with these battle satchels, and then how they convert to actual battle units that can be played in the card game. So if you haven't checked that out already, we highly recommend you do that. Lots of new art and material throughout the website. We're going to do a TV show tab, and we're going to have a private code so people can check out the deck. We kind of want to keep that private for now, just because it's, kind of secretive, and there's a lot of material in there that's really personal. So, but yeah, there's lots of updates on the website right now, and they're constantly evolving for like about the next week. So just keep checking in because we're always adding new material. We also have a database of all our cards, but unfortunately that's broken. So we're going to pull that off site, but keep a link to the card database on the main page. So that's going to be updating soon. So if you see that on the website right now and it doesn't work for you, that's why. And we figured out a solution. It just requires it to live off site. So we'll just have a separate link that will put you there. But the great thing about the database, and a ton of work went into this, is you can see every single card from every set, every battle card, and the story. And the stories can also be selected. And then, if you want to put it through a translator in a different language, you can do that. Just makes it easier for everyone to actually read the backs of the cards if they come from another country. So, that's exciting. Like I said, set 3 is coming April 29th. We're going to be releasing a promo card here, I think either next week or the week of the launch, into every single person's wallet. Rolf is working on a blend for this particular promo NFT. It's going to be a free NFT that's going to drop into everyone's wallet. All 22,000 people that have bought our NFTs are going to get this. And then it's going to be a blendable NFT as well. In this promo NFT, we're going to promote obviously set 3, the new website, our games, and just get everyone that either forgot about us or just hasn't been around in a while that we're alive and well and we're thriving. So we're very excited. I mean, set 3 is kind of a milestone for us. We really hope to do well, and with that we can continue our hard work on the card game. The animated series is still just super exciting. We keep hacking away at our contacts, and Animal Logic is still reviewing the animated series potential. They haven't said no, and it's been about 2.5 weeks since our meeting, so that's really exciting. I met with a good friend of mine, Dina Smith. She's a consultant for story for various animation studios, and she's getting us a ton of contacts at Apple Plus, Peacock, you name it, DreamWorks. And so the push for the animated series continues. We also have had a ton of meetings with venture capitalists, and we keep applying to new firms as well. Some say, hey, can we have a meeting? Some are like, this is not the right fit for us. But in particular, our meeting with Makers Fund this Monday was really exciting. Curtis, the guy that we met with, he's actually one of the actual investors of the firm. He's not like a sifter where, he tries to find people and then brings them to the people that make the decisions. He does make the decisions, and he was really excited. And he said that he looks at projects like ours in the Web 3.0 space, thousands of them, over the past 6 months. And he said they're all trying to do the Axie Infinity model. And he said your card game's really interesting, but he thinks that our wedge is the animated series. He said no one else that he saw was doing this. So we're kind of a rare stone in the, along the river of Web 3.0, which is really cool.
Yeah. I think because also a lot of the projects that are sitting on Web 3.0 and the NFT space don't have 20-year veteran art directors sitting at the back of them. Like there's no, there's no other company that's really, even Axie, probably is made up of a lot of people who are, it's maybe their first game they've made.
Right.
And Matt's had a long career in film, games, animation, a lot of that stuff. So that's one thing I think we have above everybody else is the veteran status for a lot of things we're doing. It's just a shame at the moment we can't join Matt's forces with other veterans and get them also involved, but then that always requires money, and you want to ask people sometimes to work for free or to do a couple of things to help you, but at the scope we're doing things, we couldn't ask guys who Matt knows ILM or bigger companies to just come in and work for nothing. Like they've got families, they've got mortgages, they need to pay their bills.
Absolutely.
So I
can say that, and you get to a certain point in your career in the art world and entertainment, and you don't want to be working for free anymore. The whole claim of I'm building a portfolio, working for free thing. That's not applicable anymore. So you have to have money to hire these guys. So I guess, if you are a fan out there and you've been collecting our cards and you have a little extra crypto, buy up some more primary cards, buy up some more secondary cards. We could really use the help. Or just save and wait till set 3 comes out, because that's going to be a pretty awesome. We got John Helms, our animator. He animated the packs rotating in beautiful light, and it's just fantastic. So this is going to be a very special, set 3 that we're really excited about. We had a great meeting.
It's only
go ahead.
2 weeks. I was going to say, it's just, at the time of recording, it's 2 weeks tomorrow. So it's
coming up
fast.
It's coming up real fast. Lots going to be happening. Rolf is still, like I said, the reason why he couldn't make it to this meeting is because he's just so busy with like trying to figure out all the variants and stuff. He's been working on this for a whole month, and he wants to get it right. He wants to make it valuable for everyone. And he's coming at it like a collector, because that's how he started in this space before he even collaborated with me. So he's doing a lot of research, and he's just spending a lot of time like trying to make the best decisions. I have my hands tied doing other things, so I leave it all to him. He's the NFT, master. Guy. He's the crypto guy. That's why it's a good partnership.
And it is a big launch because it's the biggest thing we've done since you first launched last year, right? So it's the biggest thing we've done. There's so many more cards, animations. I mean, for the people that have bought the battle cards over the past 6 months, there'll be a lot of those same cards with different frames. But this big promo push we're going to do, dropping these free NFTs into people's wallets, I think there's going to be a ton of people that have either forgotten about us, that are going to like realize, oh my gosh, there's so many more cards that I haven't collected yet. And wow, they've done like all this stuff with they got a demo for their card game. They've been working on this metaverse concept for VR, and they've, proof that we've been working on it. And it's really exciting. And then we had a great meeting yesterday with, we introduced John Helms to Matt Lyon, our showrunner for the animated series. And it was really interesting to hear John's perspective on a pipeline for animation for Dr. Zammsy. We're really thinking like a crossbreed of like Arcane meets, something like the Spider-Verse, just very stylized, very art driven. And, I was sharing with Gordon before the meeting, and I think some of you guys might think this is interesting too, is that John's perspective on production would be to model out every set for every scene perfectly, and you light it as best you can perfectly and in grayscale, and then you hand that to a matte painter or an artist that paints in all the details of that shot, and then you overlay that on top of the 3D geometry. And because everything's lit, the artist can make sure that the lighting is right as he paints into the scene, and that he thinks that's how they did Arcane, and that he said that's how he would approach it if he was doing Arcane for in the very beginning. I think it's always been a thing we've kind of fought over the last 6 months when we've talked about Zammsy and the way it's from. But I think because if you go, if you look at your paintings in your art book, the fantastical style is something I think that's very unique to you. Like everybody knows when they look at your stuff, it's Matt Gazer stuff. The only person I've seen that comes close to it is Tim Kaminsky, and you know Tim, yeah.
Yes.
And Tim's stuff is very of that brand, and I think I'm getting to a point now in my career when I look at people's paintings, I say, I know who painted that, and everything you've done, it's like, that's Matt Gazer. And I think,
thanks, man.
Yeah, like your thumbprint on the series, I think would be making the worlds, even animated, look like your paintings, but moving. I think
totally.
I think that would be
with
very
more
cool.
I think more detail.
Yeah,
but yeah, I
know it's dark as Arcane, but have that level of detail. Yeah,
I highly recommend everyone watch the Tallgrass episode on season 2 of Love, Death, and Robots. When I saw that, I was like, dude, this is, it's not exactly the style I'd want to go for exactly, but you can feel the paint strokes in the walls and like on the characters and in their, jackets, and that's something I'd definitely want to strive for. We explored that. I think we kind of pioneered that on the Clone Wars animated series. I remember, in the early days of trying to develop the series,
2000s.
We were exploring, painterly look to a 3D model, and one of the ways they achieve that is to take off the bump map of the 3D characters, so everything felt kind of like it needed a gloss coat. There was no specular.
Yeah, it looked very animated, of like something had drawn it or painted it, or
right. Almost was like that go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you worked on on the Clone Wars, was it the one that was 2D or 3D?
3D. I know that's kind of confusing because there's like there's the shorts, the animated shorts that that were made before. I think that was for it was the Clone Wars as well, or I can't remember.
Similar. I think it was Clone Wars also. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's confusing, because there was 2 of them at the same time.
That actually helped us with production, because I was given like a ton of reference and background paintings that were done with real traditional paint for the 2D Clone Wars shorts.
Yeah.
And told to emulate that in my 3D work for digital painting. So it was a great groundwork to bounce off of. But yeah, that was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So, and
Clone Wars is such an underrated show also. Like I think it was really well done. I think people need to go back, and a lot of people talk about the climax and Filoni coming back for the last season and stuff, and integrating Osaka and all those people, but I think the whole 1 to 5 series is really great. Did you not say that, like, you didn't like the Bad Batch, the other new one that came out about the clone troopers?
I didn't have fun watching that. Wasn't as interesting to me. Maybe it was just the characters they picked. I don't know.
I think you like Jedis. Yeah. Like, it's just clone troopers, maybe a bit.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I actually had a great lunch last weekend with some gamer friends of mine, and we were talking about Star Wars in general, how everything is being taken place on Tatooine. I guess we're shifting to pop culture here, but that's always fun. And the whole premise of Mandalorian being on Tatooine, and now the Kenobi series being on Tatooine. It's just, and then Book of Boba Fett being on Tatooine. It's just a lot of Tatooine. It's a lot of sand and rock. Obviously, that's easier for production, right? But these gamer friends of mine said that's what made Clone Wars so special, is because you're going to a weird mushroom planet,
different planets and stuff,
and your coral planet,
That's what I loved about, because I finally got to watch Star Wars Visions, and it was incredible. Really, really well done. Have you seen that yet? Or
I've seen some, but not all.
Oh man, there's some episodes that just like absolutely blew my mind, because everyone's done by a different studio, so they're all kind of different styles. But some of the stories and the combat and some of the lightsaber fights are like incredible,
and amazing.
It's all about Jedi, existing during the time of the Empire and stuff. And there's one that even takes place like thousands of years after the original films, and it's like when Sith don't exist anymore and all that's left is Jedi, and they've become these like sages, like it's like a higher ranking Jedi, but
wow.
There's a bunch of them, and they're really, really well done, really, really interesting. The stories are great. So I'd advise, if anybody's not watched Star Wars Visions, you don't need to watch that, because if you're a Star Wars fan, I avoided it for so long, I don't know why, but it's the same thing I was talking about different planets, different times, different characters, nothing to do with the Skywalkers, nothing to do with any of the named people. It's all brand new characters, brand new people.
I think that's what I think that's what the franchise really needs right now.
Yeah,
for live action. You know, Mandalorian
extended universe.
Mandalorian is such a success because it deals with that, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, Boba Fett, man. I love that character, but I don't know if he
I wasn't a
deserved.
fan.
I
I
don't know
finally
if
got
he
to watch it,
deserved
and I
the whole
wasn't super
series.
impressed. Yeah, I don't think it was great. I think if it had been an episode of Mandalorian separately, and it was like an episode where Boba takes back the Jabba Palace, and
I mean, some of the best episodes in Book of Boba Fett are when Mandalorian takes over, which is just
and Skywalker as well when Luke comes in. Yeah, so
I think that's a sign where they should take that kind of stuff, that material.
Yeah, there's talks of Sebastian Stan playing a young Luke Skywalker and doing some.
I saw that.
Show.
He looks just like him.
He would fit. Yeah. He does look very similar to young Luke or young Mark Hamill.
With the deepfake technology, they could literally make it look still like Luke if they really wanted to.
We don't hire the guy on and deepfake him. I think that would be taking the piss. The guy would be like, "You're hiring me, but then you're putting something over my face. What the fuck?"
I know. Well, they already proved they can do it. I mean, the shots in Book of Boba Fett with Luke blew my mind. Blew my mind.
Oh yeah.
Just so real.
Yeah, man, I watched that series finale of Mandalorian and I teared up when he walked out the elevator because I knew when I saw the cloak, I was like, oh my God, that's like
the green lightsaber. I know.
Yeah, even the X-Wing coming in, I was like, it's going to be Luke. It's going to be Luke.
Yeah.
And it was. So, yeah, because there's so much after Return of the Jedi we never find out about, you know, how he rebuilds the Jedi Order, how he takes on the new generation and trains people and yeah,
it's really interesting. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, they're going to make new movies.
I just think the world's waiting for the next big fantasy sci-fi franchise, and you know, Harry Potter's been kind of vetted already. It's out there. There's doing Fantastical Beasts all the time, and there's Marvel movies all the time, and there's now Star Wars stuff all the time. And I feel like you know, the industry in general just needs to start picking really interesting new IPs like the Chronicles of Dr. Zammsy and launch that out there in the world and get people excited about new stuff.
Yeah. I think Arcane's good that it's came out at the time it has. I think because if you're pitching a series and you're using Arcane as evidence, it would be great because that's done really well. And it's not a tried and tested IP. It's not something that's established. It's a brand new thing that League have done on their own with their own stories, their own characters, their own writers. And that's been a success. So
and
you can definitely
the sensibilities are very similar. I mean, it's different. It's Dr. Zammsy is very different, but it's very Edwardian, you know, and lots of sci-fi tech in there. And
well, the sci-fi tech's a huge part of the League stuff as well because they use magical energy to power stuff basically. So it's not like electricity. It's magic, but the tech they use is really it's similar in a sense, and even that establishing shot when they first walk onto the roofs and you see the whole city with the flying blimps, I was like, seems just like Zammsy. That's like
I know 1-to-1, man. Felicity, when we were having our pitch with Animalogic, you know, the makers of the Lego movies and things like that, she said, well, what's your vision for all the technology? Is this like steampunk? And I'm like, no, it's not steampunk. Steampunk is very specific. This is, you know, Edwardian, Victorian sci-fi fantasy. And you know, I was telling her there's flat screens, there's holograms, there's, you know, a lot of mechs,
Android
robots, you know. I always equate it to if you were to put Star Wars tech in a Harry Potter movie. There you go. You're done. That's what it would be. So I mean,
no, it's very. I think it's very good that Arcane, because I know for so many people, years and years in the game industry, they were always talking about. They used to go to pitch meetings and be like, "It's like this game meets this game," and folk would be like, "Oh, okay, like I can see it." When you give people something like an image in their head, you know, you can even use that. And you can be like, "Oh, Arcane,
you have to do that." Yeah.
Arcane meets this thing, and folk are like, "Oh, okay, I get it. I've seen Arcane. I know what you're talking about." So yeah,
I know. In our pitch deck for the series, we have you know, Indiana Jones, Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters meets Doogie Howser. You know, you have to do that when you're.
Maybe update those references, Matt. Depends on the age bracket you're appealing to.
Peter Venkman.
I was thinking Doogie Howser. Folk are like, "What the fuck?"
I know.
You know, because.
For those of you that don't know, Doogie Howser was a very popular series in the 90s about a prodigy teenager that becomes a medical MD.
Doctor.
Or, you know, he's practicing and doing surgeries. And
Neil Patrick Harris played him in his youth.
Definitely.
He's like in his 50s now.
he's older than me. Yeah.
He's like 51, I think, or 50 at least. So
and I'm creeping up right behind him.
Oh, dude. I'm in a couple of months.
And you're right behind me.
I'm
Yeah.
37, so yeah,
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah. So, but yeah. So I mean, yeah, we're definitely lucky in that we exist in a time when the streaming services have gone wild, because there's so much, I think, lust for getting something really crazy on screen, and I think Zammsy has the potential because it's so different to do great things.
We were, John and all of us yesterday in our meeting, we're talking about the pipeline of, with this. Actually, what's really exciting for you fans out there, if you buy up set 3, we're obviously going to allocate a considerable of that money into the card game, but we're actually going to put a little bit of it aside for previs for our pilot episode of Dr. Zammsy, the series. And we want to actually shot block, some scenes out in storyboard form, and then hire John knew a really talented previs guy that can actually take those boards and turn them into 3D moving assets that actually show the shot blocking of a particular scene. And we feel like that test would really turn the heads of some studios as well. So, I mean, it's just so exciting that we're launching set 3, and then we already have this roadmap of where we're going to put all those funds, but the Maker's Fund, that guy was like, dude, like, your Wedge is your animated series. If you can get the animated series launched, your card game's going to just go bananas. And it's, that's, and then we're also, by the way, we're also still waiting on Dark Slope to make a decision on making the VR game. They haven't said no yet either. We've, gotten some intel that they're potentially working on some financing. But we don't know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's just so much fun to work every day and have all these loose ends without answers yet. You can keep dreaming. It's
the potential of somebody taking it on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
really
it's good though, because there's so many, I think, things dangling, our plates spinning at the moment, that it just needs one of them to really get on board. Because we don't need a lot of funding to really make the card game work.
No.
Just a little bit, just enough to pay me and one other person, to really work on it full time. But I mean, if we can get enough.
I'll be a little candid. I mean, I think we spent like 130 grand out of our gross, money that we've made over the past year, and we were able to do a metaverse style VR test. We were able to get the 45-page white paper done. We were able to do tons of 3D models demo, and we had our first demo that was going to be more Hearthstone based, and we actually modeled out the whole table and everything, and then we had to scratch all that because we changed our direction, we've just done so much with just only, I know it sounds like a lot, but in terms of real production, 130 grand is like nothing.
That's if Matt was going to work full time as an art director or principal, that's like his, maybe less than half his wage for like going to, like, it's not in LA especially, it's or California, it's not a lot of money. That's for some people, that's one person's wage. Yeah.
And so we really stretched the funds, and so that's how we'd approach, finishing up the card game is on, with a similar budget, and we just, so I mean, I think even if set 3 doesn't sell out and like half sells out, I think we're still in a great place to completely just go gangbusters on the card game. So
we're using international talent, which means that we don't have to pay California wages, which is obviously where the crazy money comes in. So
if we paid California wages for the card game, it would be, just labor would be like 500K.
It would be millions. It would be so much money.
It cost like a couple million to make. But
a starting artist in LA is anywhere between 60 and 70,000 for 1 year's work, and that's 2 or 3 of those people, you're getting in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's pretty crazy. I think we're exactly up to I think tomorrow is the anniversary of our set 1 launch. Cool. And it's just amazing to, I guess we could finish this off just a little bit. I want to express what kind of journey, we've all been on. I mean, when we went into this thing, I was really wary about NFTs. I didn't understand it. I just knew that it could be fun, and Rolf really spearheaded that launch. And it shocked me when it sold out. I couldn't believe it. And then, the wave of fans all asking for, utility and a game, really just dialed us into a crazy vision for, where we are today. I mean, I've learned so much on how to run a business. Writing business plans, creating pitch decks, or doing payroll, trying to get money moved over to our account from crypto. I mean, it's just, endless amounts of education this year, stuff that I'll never forget. It's just incredible. And I can't wait to keep applying what I'm learning, and I can't wait to learn more as we go. But I am so grateful for what we've achieved in the past year. And I think if you go to the website, what's displayed on our website right now really is an achievement. For the amount of money that we've actually spent, we've come so far from that first launch. It's just insane. I think the biggest hurdle still is marketing and trying to find ways to get people to see us. And I think for set 3 in the next 2 weeks, we've got a great roadmap on how to hit the ground running with that and get the word out. So we'll see. I can't wait. So
yeah, definitely.
All right, buddy. Well, let's wrap this up. For everyone out there, thanks so much for listening to us, and we'll have more updates next week, and Rolf will be on board. So stay tuned.
Yes, 2 weeks to go, guys. And any questions, you can pop in our Discord. You'll find all the links on the page. Depending on where you're watching a bit from YouTube, you can click the links, and we'll leave all the show links down below. And come on the Discord, have a chat with us, and join the Q&A.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.